Okay.
See, I could wear one of those every day to work.
But not, not with something that's very, very...
For working in a warehouse, I think you present yourself so amazingly all the time. Here we go. So hello everyone, I'm still Alana from WHIZ Weddings Club and Alana's celebrant and party starter, and I'm hanging out on this big couch with my sexy friends here from the wedding industry, who are all pretty amazing. Done a lot of weddings between all of us. I should list off that we have Mark Ferguson, Jennifer, Jenny Gifford, Greg Field, Chris Field, there is a connection, and me. How many weddings do you reckon everyone's done?
I've done over 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so about 500 suits a year.
Whoa.
Yeah, in that space.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I was just saying, if I actually added it all up, I'd probably cry.
Yes.
At the thought of how many gowns I actually have sewn.
How many beads?
Yes.
How many
zips? All of that. But on average, I do about 40 a year.
Yeah, that's a lot for...
Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just for brides. And then I have collections and stuff like that too. So I'm doing new gowns and samples to replace other samples that have been damaged.
Yes.
So it's hard to put a number on it, how many I've actually...
Because you're reinventing, and Mark has a little bit more of a staple that you put twists on. You've got that base recipe. Yeah, that you come back to.
Yeah.
And then we was talking, you guys have been doing forever and ever and ever.
So I think last year we did 650 events, all different ranges of sizes, and that's not including ones that we sponsored or our photo shoots or
And you do a lot of that sort of stuff.
yes, and so like bridal fairs, brides market. So that's on top of that. So
But the record was just over 20 in one day.
Oh.
We had to split the team up thoroughly that
20
day.
events.
Yeah,
Was that this year?
that was last year, yeah.
Wow. And
So-
that's something we all do a lot of, the photo shoots, the events, the sponsoring things, the fashion. We've all been a party of that kind of stuff. Why do you think we're all still around?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this question when you asked it earlier, and I think it's because we care.
Yeah.
I think, we really care about, one, the quality of product, two, the service, but care about the people who come and put themselves in front of us and trust us.
Yeah.
And because we care, then we obviously we do a great job.
Yeah.
And, and that comes across in the detail and the length that we go to really service and provide for our clients.
It's true. Yeah, you invest in them.
Yes.
They're investing in you, but you in turn invest in them because you want them to have the most amazing day. That they're entitled to that. They deserve it.
Yes.
So and you don't want to let them down because you do become quite close with these people.
It's a big chunk of time that you deal with these people for a lot of the time, isn't it? It's not just a once-off interaction. They come into a shop, they purchase something, they go away.
Yeah.
It's months, sometimes years.
They become friends too.
They do.
There's a real
Yes.
friendship and trust that's
And it's,
involved.
a lot of the times it's not just them, it's their family too. So you're actually meeting their nearest and dearest.
You're being brought into the family in some way,
Yes.
shape or form.
But you're still working with your own family. Like, we kind of all come together. I was just saying, we had a guy just drop into the warehouse before, and I was like, hey, I know him. I married him. And then before I was like, hey, remember that dress you did for Mel? He was just here, and he's got his warehouse next to you guys. And it all just kind of comes around, because when you're good and you work and you bounce off that community,
It is community.
then it all just kind of keeps coming back.
I think like we always feel so honoured to actually have an opportunity to actually, work with people, and I think it is that relationship totally. That it's actually not a bride and a groom, it's Ben and Sarah or somebody. They're actually people, and that we think that this is one of the biggest celebrations of their life, and it is like that. And we're a family business, but we actually always use language around that all the time. Like, we're so glad that you've come you know, to us, we thank you, you know, to be honoured, and you know, you're part of our family, and I think that creates that sense of trust, you know. And it's the same with, you know, other vendors and other people that we get to work with. We talk about family and those sorts of so
We're
it brings
people,
in,
we're not an app. We're not an online service.
so it brings that sort of sense of value to people, even around the language, which gives them a sense of how they feel. And for us, it is the experience that's really important.
It's a commitment to your art, and it's a commitment to people, and it's a commitment to doing things well.
Yes.
And the reason why we're allowed to be creative and, you know, push people, and people trust us to say, you know, we will trust you guys to create something amazing, which allows it to still stay fresh and us interpret things, but in different ways.
Yeah, well, you're the professional. You're the doctor. I'm not coming up and saying, this is what I have, this is what I need. My doctor isn't just going to hand over that script. It's, no, hang on a second, let's do a big assess of these things. And that's what we all do in our own roles.
And I think, sorry, and just with the trust thing, I think it's important to trust the professionals, because that gives us creative freedom, and they're going to get a better result from that trust. So it's when people restrict us of, no, you can't do this, can't do that, and that sort of thing, that's when you don't actually get the best result. So if you look for creative people, sort of give them that freedom, they'll go and take it and make it amazing.
I think another reason long term why we're still in it and successful is because we actually want other vendors to be, you know, to be successful. And, you know, and we don't feel like we are all things to all people, that we actually need a whole community. So, you know, we don't want to ever be, you know, making us look like we're getting higher by pushing or bad-mouthing other people. It's about us just strengthening ourselves, encouraging and bringing stuff out of other people. You know, we're happy for as little or as much as people want us. If we're not the right fit for everything, we're more than happy. We don't take that as like a threat. We just go, great, you're getting a mix of what you want.
So all of us here are married people. I'm not going to ask if happily or otherwise, but we're all married people. We've all been married for a bit of time. We've all got kids at different ends of the spectrum. How can you reflect on your own wedding and what you see happening now? Is there anything that you wish people were doing, or you wish was an option for your own wedding? Things that you're glad weren't a big deal, that you didn't have to worry about? Mark, you're very good at starting these things off.
I'd probably choose a different photographer. Well, what happened is we were at the reception and his house got broken into. And so then he had to go. So, you know, it wasn't his fault. But,
That could happen to any photographer.
But it didn't quite work out for the photos.
But do you know what? The stuff's already gone. What was he trying to do by race away?
His wife was actually quite upset, understandably, and so, but that was probably the only thing. I was lucky enough; I had a good network of people, so we were.
So you were already working in weddings.
We're doing some weddings, yes.
Right.
But my pro basketball days got me a lot of other things as well. So I knew some people around town. So.
And that was in Townsville.
That was in Townsville, yeah. So. The styler suit was okay.
Yeah.
You know, that was 2006, so that was 11 years ago. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was a 3-button. I'd probably go a 2-button again if I had my time, but 3 buttons were in
But
back
for
then.
the time,
For the time,
like you can't kind of go, oh,
what was trending.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think you've got to remember that too. Like I have a lot of, when girls come in, especially maybe their mothers or their sisters who are already married, I hear it a lot. Oh, I wish I could get married again. I'd do X, Y, Z differently.
You know, chair sashes were a thing when I got married. Okay,
Me too.
so you
I have
can't
been
judge
once.
me. It was a thing of the time. People liked it. That's how it is.
I loved
What
my
colour?
wedding.
Oh, so Tim really wanted this like bright royal blue, and I had to keep saying we're not Greek. Because with the white chairs, I just thought it'd be like the Greek club. So it was a tasteful olive green I went with pink
Olive green.
highlights in the flowers. That was, you know. But weddings weren't the thing.
How long ago?
9 years ago.
Okay, so
Yeah, so it's similar. Weddings weren't the thing that they are now. Facebook had
That's exactly
only
right.
just started.
Yeah.
If someone sent me a Facebook invitation to a function, I never took it seriously and didn't turn up. Unless I had paper in my hand, it wasn't real. There was no Pinterest, there was no Instagram, there was no anything. So someone just said, oh, what do you want? Oh, I don't know, what do I need? Oh, I guess I need a couple of flowers. There wasn't much
It was low key.
thought.
Low
Like
key,
ours was
low
low
key.
key and
Low
just
key.
really quite, quite simple and elegant.
Yeah, the emphasis was on the party. I'm sure that
That's-
surprises
that's
everyone.
it. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
honeymoon actually. That's what we spent all our money on. So, really good
For our
food.
wedding. We saved.
Yes.
We didn't go into debt for our wedding at all.
Yes.
So that was the biggest thing for us. And we had the wedding we wanted. We just made sure
Yeah.
that we were really sensible.
We budgeted for our wedding so that we could pay for it ourselves. And then I remember the day or two before my wedding, Dad gets out the checkbook and he was just sort of like, "Are you sure it's only that much?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, Are you sure? Like, what are people eating? Party pies or like, is it goon flasks? Like, what is this? And I'm like, "No, Dad, I promise you, it's everything that we want and it's lovely."
Yeah.
And it was lovely, but
Yeah.
weddings were simpler.
They were so
then.
simple. So
People's
much more simple.
expectations were lower. I don't know. We didn't have so much international.
There's no
influence.
keeping up with the Joneses sort of pressure from Instagram and that sort of thing. You just didn't
No.
have it. You went to a friend's wedding, but there wasn't that sort of need. And, it has evolved a lot
It has.
over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And
know,
yeah, I don't know if you've had it, but I have definitely had it, where a bride has come to me and said, "I want to get my wedding in a magazine."
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm like, "You poor thing, you're probably not my bride."
Yes, I ban Google and Pinterest actually when I'm working with my couples, and they're going, anything you find there has already been done, and I don't know how that is unique to your story.
Yes.
So let's just not go there.
For us, we're probably the winners here. We've been married 30 years this year.
Yay!
And I guess even with that, we actually had a marquee on my mum and dad's property, which was pretty unusual for those days.
And two
And-
receptions.
Yeah, and two receptions.
Receptions.
Because we had so many people and friends that we couldn't afford to come, so we just had like an afternoon tea, and we still wrote an invitation out to people saying, even though our numbers are limited to this, we still value,
Yes.
you, and people loved that. And I think even my dress was very unusual. Like, it was fitted all down. Where still in those days, everyone still had lace, all these big puffy things.
Yes.
And my bridesmaids were lemon, which was so ridiculous for then.
Yeah.
And like fitted and like, so it was unusual
Did
for the
someone's
day.
mum make them?
My mother did, because my mother was designing clothes at that stage too. My mum.
Yeah.
But we did have fake flowers on the table.
Yeah.
And a bit
And
of
they were
baby's
like
breath.
this big, and they were this big.
And there was
And
a
I
bit of
wanted-
baby's breath.
Actually, my
Fake
bouquet
baby's
was
breath?
baby's breath. No,
There
real,
you go.
real. But
Yeah.
still, even then,
But
it
for,
was
no,
different.
for the time.
I know, we were cutting edge.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know when people, you were that little girl or boy and you're thinking about weddings, what weddings would be? I am the oldest grandchild. I'm the oldest everything. So all my aunties and uncles got married when I was able to remember these things happening. And I had like a parade of about 3 or 4 aunts all get married over a couple of years. I'd probably say late 80s, and it was all baby's breath, trailing with ferns and crowns. And I was like, one day I'm going to grow up and I'm going to no. I didn't. But it was a thing and it was amazing. So it doesn't matter what the trends are now, it's that you loved it in the time. And so all being people, I'd probably say for our own wedding, we just wanted a party. We just wanted a party. We didn't want formality. And I found that everyone we dealt with didn't understand why we chose to have the lack of formality. We didn't want an aisle. We didn't want people sitting. We didn't want this big hoo-ha and a grand entrance. We actually asked if we could just arrive maybe together and have half an hour, 40 minutes of cocktails and a couple of canapes and just got to chill out for a little bit, and then when we were ready, have our ceremony. And people agreed to that in theory, hesitantly, but on the day, they were like, no, that's not how it's done. No, okay, you're here, so quick, hurry up, and who's giving you away? And I'm like, well, no one's giving me away. Okay, so which side are we standing on? There is no side, just stand. And people were really out of sorts about it. And our celebrant, even though she said, oh yeah, I'll wait for you until you're ready, she was kind of standing under this gazebo and she was
nervous.
My time's got to go.
Yeah. And we weren't presented with options of content. It was choose A, choose B, choose C. We didn't know that you could be less formal. We didn't know we could personalise things. Well, gay equality, I'm not saying it wasn't an issue, but it wasn't something that was really spoken of as part of a wedding ceremony. I would have liked that to be something that I could have thought about and navigated tastefully in my ceremony. There were so many things that our ceremony was very heartfelt and personal, but it was, as everyone kept saying, oh, that's so you and Alana, you and Tim, but it wasn't what it would be now. Yeah, there were funny moments, but people were laughing at us because they thought we were funny, not because we actually were being dickheads.
What I really love about so many different styles and visual things that you see at weddings now, there are no rules. Like there's a set of foundations, there's things that your parents tell you, there's things that you're assumed that you should do. But it's your day. On the day, suit what suits you best, make your decisions, and don't get hung up over the fact that you've decided to do that. Let it be you.
And I had lots of people, oh, but you have to have that. Do I? I don't think I do. Does that contribute to the relationship I have with someone and its longevity in my family? And I have to kind of mention that when these people stress over silly things about their wedding, I'm like, are you really going to be thinking about that when you're having your first baby? Or are you really going to be thinking about that, you know, in 15 years' time? Ask me, you know, what colour something was. I really couldn't care less. It's our 10th anniversary next year, and it was always our joke that I was only committing to being married to Tim for 10 years because I wouldn't agree to a business arrangement for longer than that because you change and you are different people. And so we've started to have the negotiations recently. It's like, so are we going to sign up for another 10 years and what will the terms be and how do we do this? And Tim, he's like, well, this time I'm choosing the chair sash colours and I'm like, go for it.
Go crazy.
And I couldn't care what he does because I know it's not about all of those things. It's about the meaning to us and our family and hoping that we make another 10 years. And so yes, Tim's getting the wedding that he's dreamed of ever since he was a little girl next year, and I'm really excited for him.
Are you going?
Yes. I'm going. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you guys. If you have any questions about any of the topics that we've covered, whether you are a couple that are planning to get married soon, or maybe you're thinking about doing something in our field, I'm sure we all answer questions all that time. Shoot us an email. I don't think any of us are very good at answering the phone, but shoot us an email and follow us on our social profiles, and I'm sure we'll post all the links for that up at some point. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Lana.
Awesome.